everybody, and welcome to episode 135 of the NFL edition. I am your host, Alex Loosemore, back again. Just did that mock draft show with Johnny about an hour ago, and I'm here with two other gentlemen here to talk the NFL in a more broader landscape. Here we'll talk the franchise tag updates and predictions, kind of talk free agency predictions, offseason predictions for the Bucs and the Lions more specifically, and if other teams get brought up in the comments or that kind of stuff, then we'll discuss those. And potentially I'll have a little trivia game for the guys at the end here to see if they can figure out what my brain was thinking for some of these connections that I made on this game. We'll see if that comes up in a little bit. If not, then we'll save it for another week. If you guys like what we're doing here, if you could go ahead and like, share, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, and comment. We love going back and forth with you guys in the comments. So let us know whether you agree, disagree, different stuff you want us to discuss, anything like that. Throw it in the comments. We will go back and forth with you guys on it. And let's get this rolling. I'm going to bring in my co-hosts here, Mr. Ben Cornett and Mr. JT Olson. How are we doing, guys?
Fantastical.
Doing good.
All right.
How are you doing, Alex?
Doing well. Excited to be back talking football. It's been a little while, so I think it's almost been a month since we were on here on the NFL edition. So
just counting.
Yeah. Always enjoy talking football with you guys. Johnny Dean says, "Sup, JT? Thank you for tuning in."
Johnny, I miss you. It's good to see you.
And that mock draft show, I will say, I enjoyed doing that. That was a lot of fun. So maybe we'll have more pop-up shows like that in the future. All right, yeah. So we'll talk the franchise tag off the bat here. The tag deadline is on Tuesday. From my understanding so far, we've only had two franchise tags: the Bengals in Cincinnati franchise tagging wide receiver T. Higgins, and the Kansas City Chiefs tagging corner L'Jarius Sneed. Obviously, that one, it was too expensive to tag Chris Jones, so they went ahead and tagged Sneed instead. Keep one of those defensive stars on their roster. We'll see if they both stay or potentially leave. They could still trade Sneed this offseason. But Ben, I'll start with you. What's another one that you could see possibly getting tagged?
I don't know. Normally, guys, the franchise tags usually are just something to, hold on to until you get a deal done, long term. So we'll probably see at least two or three more, But again, franchise tags are mainly used, well, they're supposed to be used just so you can get a deal done before the certain time frame. You try to get a long-term deal out of it.
I believe it's July 15th is that deadline.
July 15th. Okay. Yeah, so it gives you extra time, and if it goes past that July 15th, then they have to play on that salary for the whole year, before they can negotiate a deal again. But as far as, any more tags, I would say Josh Allen. We discussed that earlier with Jacksonville. The one in Baltimore, I forget his name. You had mentioned Madubuike. Yeah, those would probably be the two you'd have to look out for. As far as me and JT's end, we're Bucs fans. Depends on what we can do. Especially with the salary cap going up $30 million. We have a lot of decisions to make. So, but as far as who's going to get tagged, probably Allen, the dude from Baltimore. Those are probably the two you probably see most likely get it. And then maybe a couple other ones.
All right. JT, you got any other names to add to the fray there?
Yeah, I think the ones Ben mentioned make the most sense. Josh Allen and Justin Madubuike. Both, you're kind of trying to figure out if their success last year is sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen, 2 years in a row of 7.5 and 7 sacks. And then last year he broke out for 17.5.
Mhm.
Is that like a Shaq Barrett kind of flash in the pan year, or is that who he's going to be long term? And same with Matabwikwe. He was like 5 sacks 2 years ago and 13 sacks last year. So definitely want to see if that's something that can be sustained over a long period of time. Don't want to drop a bag on a guy for one great year and kind of be stuck with 4 sacks a year moving forward.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we did with Shaq Barrett, unfortunately.
That's why I thought that was a really good name to bring up there when you were talking about Matabwike and Allen, was that Shaq Barrett contract, because that was almost exactly what happened there. I'll throw a couple other names out and get your guys' opinion on some of them. I know pre-show JT, you brought up Michael Pittman, another wide receiver, possibly getting the tag. I think that's a smart one for the Colts. I don't see any of the quarterbacks getting it. I think it's too expensive for the Vikings to tag Cousins. I think you bring him back on kind of a cheaper 1-year deal and keep doing the 1-year deal, kind of shtick with them. And the other free agency quarterbacks, I don't really think, at least the ones that aren't getting cut, I don't really think they're worth it. So, running backs, I don't really think there's any getting tagged there. I know the Giants talked about possibly tagging Barkley. I don't think it'll happen, even with that cap increase.
Well, now Johnny's saying they want to tag me, and my price keeps going up if you do that every single year. You do that.
Let's see. Here's the thing: that, from my understanding, that contract was longer than 4 or 5 month contract.
Well, I have an opt out in that clause. I didn't mention to you guys, so
I guess we missed the fine print.
Got to read the whole thing. Got to read all 2 pages.
Christopher Cole, what's up, man? Hope you're doing well.
What's up, Christopher?
Drop us in the comments what you think the Bucs should do this offseason. Chris, do you think they should tag anybody? I know obviously you want them to bring back most of the guys, but Sean said Ben waived his no trade clause.
We're going to trade him to a Giants podcast.
Oh, shout out to Andrew.
Yeah.
Shout out to those guys.
Yeah.
That's an interesting team this year, guys. The Giants, real quick. What are the Giants do? I mean, I don't see them tagging Barkley, but I mean, my goodness, they got a lot of decisions to make because moving forward.
Yeah.
Yes. Do they want to burn it down with gasoline, or they don't want to do charcoal, or there's a lot of ways to go about this.
Sean said the Bucs should trade Cody Mock to Washington.
I got a better idea, Sean. No. There you go.
They said bump the Giants. One, it's interesting because it's like, do you bring somebody in to compete with your $40 million a year quarterback? Do you bring in a young guy that's like, okay, you're replaceable here? Do you just add more weapons and be like, okay, like, come on, this is what we paid you for? Like, I think they're in a really tough spot giving Jones all that money.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty much handcuffed. This kind of reminds me of Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah.
Titans handcuffed with him. I mean, because, oh my God, coming from Miami, going to Tennessee, you could pair him with Derrick Henry. Daniel Jones, 2 years ago, it seemed like a mirage. This past year, he just struggled. Now, it's not all his fault. That offensive line was horrible.
It's awful. Yeah.
Yeah. And they had injuries on there, but at the same time, I mean, God. I mean, you got to try and bring in somebody. I mean, I don't know if you draft a quarterback. You don't want to throw him into that mess with the questionable offensive line,
Real question, though. Even paying Jones, who else on that roster are the Giants paying? I mean, everyone on that roster is replaceable outside of Andrew Thomas.
I think Dory Jackson's getting a decent chunk of cash.
I like their safety. I can't think of his name. It starts with an X, I think.
Xavier McKinney.
Xavier McKinney, thank you.
Yeah.
But I think he's still on a rookie deal.
I think he's right at the end of it, if I'm not mistaken. Andrew Thomas is coming to the end of his rookie contract.
So they should be able to pay like 6 quarterbacks and just kind of figure it out who's going to be the guy. I mean,
trying to think who's. Dexter Lawrence just got
Dexter Lawrence. Yep, he's the one.
Yeah. Linebacker. They gave Okereke a pretty good contract there last year.
Speaking of Andrew Thomas,
well,
can he stay healthy?
And that one's a tough one because when he's on the field, he's like a top 5 left tackle in the game.
Yes.
He's just not out there that often.
Yeah.
It's tough.
That's such a risk. Yeah, I mean, that's the other problem. And Darren Waller, I mean, I think he's more concerned about a rap career and, being the husband of Kelsey Plum, for more than, because last year he just was stealing money. But
there is one more name who I think we need to talk about in terms of franchise tag as one of the top players at his position, and that's Jalen Johnson with the Bears.
Yes.
I think if they don't get a long-term deal worked out with him, and I think it's going to be a very high-priced one, they'll definitely tag him because you can't let that guy get away. And, the Bears are bad. So he'd be more than happy to get out of that situation, test the market, make top dollar, and the Bears just can't let that happen.
Well, and Johnson literally said at the Pro Bowl, my heart is in Chicago, but my mind's on the money. So he's going to go where the money's at.
The latter, yeah. When they guys, when players say, they our hearts in the team, but then they add that little caveat, the money, always go with the latter, not the former. They always go for the money, which is fine. That's what you should do. But
right, what's the saying? Anything before the word "but" is just lip service.
Yep.
Right. Well, speaking of Chicago, I mean, we've heard the talks, right? Like Justin Fields, that's the hottest topic in Chicago. I mean,
I'm gonna bring someone else in to talk this topic here. He's on for a little bit here, Mr. Johnny Dean. How you
doing?
Hey, welcome back.
How you doing?
Good to see you, Johnny.
I was just looking for the YouTube episode show.
You were bored. You missed us. You know us.
Yeah, I was bored, and then JT was here, so I said, I haven't seen JT in a while.
I stayed up past my bedtime just to touch base with everyone.
How's it going? And then, of course, I haven't yelled at Ben in a long time.
What happened? Now we're getting along.
Oh, wait a minute. Look, we played so nicely last week on your Have At It show. It's like I felt really bad because I didn't yell at you or nothing.
No. We need to get back to those days where we're just screaming each other's heads off.
Yeah.
But we agree on too much, so it's probably never going to happen. So.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, we have been agreeing too much. Screw that. Devontae David's going to get franchise tag. Let me see. What else can I say? This, I don't know.
Sean's would love to see the Rat Pack is back, and I'm back to listening in my car.
In the car.
For Sean, you're in your 40s, okay?
No. Yeah. What were you saying before I interrupted you, Ben, to bring Johnny on?
Justin Fields, he's the hottest talk in Chicago right now. I mean, it's really interesting with Ryan Poles coming out and saying that, we want to keep it, but if we're going to, do something, we want to make it the best move. So it seems like to me, they want to move on.
Yeah.
And technically, he didn't draft him. So I could see why they would do such a thing. He wants his own quarterback under his regime. So
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know how you read that shit in all of what they've been doing, man, because they're all over the board with everything they say. It's not like 1 minute it's like, oh, they're definitely getting rid of Fields, man, the way he's talking. And then the next minute it's like, they don't want to get rid of, what the hell, man? It's like Levante David today. Remember, he said a couple of weeks ago that he was going to retire a buck. He wasn't going to go into free. Today he's talking about free agents and calling him up and stuff. So, teams calling him up and stuff and going into free agency. So
I also think it's two different situations, though. It's two different situations. Fields is your quarterback.
Well, it's still double talk, and
yeah.
the double talk at this time of the year. You don't know what the hell's going on with that shit.
I think Levante is doing that to try and be like, okay, Bucks, come on, let's go. Like,
yeah. You see Christopher Cole's comment down there at the bottom?
Said tag Winfield, sign Baker to a 3-year, $85 million. I think it's going to cost more than that. Not much more, but I think it's going to cost a little more than that. Evans, 3 years, $95. I think that's a little too much. I think a little less than that. I think realistically, you swap Evans' contract with Mayfield's contract there.
Yeah.
Then I think that's pretty good. And then LVD, 2 years, 36.
No, you don't give them that much.
That's
no.
Pretty high for a linebacker position right there.
Yeah.
And plus, with Evans and 90, if they do something like that, that means they had to overpay him to keep him.
Yeah.
That's why I could see why they would do that. Like,
that's why I was saying.
What was Godwin's 3-year contract? I don't remember what that was.
It was like 3 years, $60 million.
Yeah.
I'll throw this. The extension the Lions are talking with Amon-Ra is averaging out at about 25 a year.
Yeah.
Which I think that's a hometown discount for the Lions. I think Amon-Ra could easily reset the market and get like 31 a year.
Yeah, I totally agree. As soon as I saw 25 a year, I was like, thank God. Like,
speaking of resetting the market, you know what's going to happen. Who's going to reset the market first?
Antoine.
I was going to say for which position? Or are you just saying any position?
Any position. Because it starts with the first block that gets knocked over, and then it just goes, it skyrockets. Right?
I think Saquon could do it for the running backs. I would say Henry, but I think he's a little too old to get that big contract. So I think Saquon would be that running back guy.
But has Saquon been productive enough to reset the market? I know it's not always the best player, but the next player who's due for a payday. But, I mean, as talented and athletic as Saquon is, he hasn't been productive to warrant top dollar.
Now, part of that is we just spent time talking about how awful the Giants' offensive line has been.
That's true, but this is 6 years worth of when was Saquon the best running back in the league?
Never.
The best never. There were a couple of years where you could argue top 5. I will say that. The rookie year being one of them for sure.
Because I think he had one.
The year before last was a pretty productive year for him.
Yeah, I would say 22 in his rookie year, I would say you can argue right around that top 5 level.
But is arguably top 5 enough to reset the running back market?
In free agency with an extra $30 million in cap space, I think it is.
It might be.
It's never the top
dog that
does
it. Only about 15. I think McCaffrey's getting 15, and I think that's the highest. I can see someone giving Barkley a little over that personally.
That is a beatable number. Josh Jacobs is right there too. He's coming off a couple good years.
Yep.
No. Just because the salary cap's going up, then it's still going to be players. They're still going to ask for more money. So just because it goes up $30 million doesn't mean you're good now.
Thing. With it going up $30 million, teams are going to be willing to spend that little bit extra, right? So
because players are going to ask for more money. That's the thing. Like the Mike Evans is. Ooh, okay. Now I can ask.
Oh,
for
$30 million extra. Okay, let's
add
a little more to that.
The thing with Mayfield, I'll ask. Cool. I'll ask for another extra 10, 15 million.
That's why I was glad to see the Amon-Ra one stay at 25.
Alex, neither one of us had a running back in our first round. So
no, because I don't think there is a first round running back this year. I don't. I think there's a lot of second round running backs. I think Jonathan Brooks from Texas, Marshawn Lloyd from USC. There's a few of those guys. I think Corum's a third round guy. Before anyone asks what I thought about him, I think he's a third round guy. more because he's the senior, had the knee injuries in 22, that kind of stuff.
I like the Florida State guy just ahead of Corum, and I think the Texas guy. What's his name? Jonathan
Brooks.
Yeah, he's clearly the number one. I think.
My sleeper running back, the one I feel is actually the best running back, but it's probably going to go around 3 or 4. Braylon Allen from Wisconsin.
I have him a lot farther down on my list.
What's that? What was that, JT?
Oh, I was saying I like him. I just wish he had a little more burst. His long speed is good, but that acceleration to hit the hole is just, it leaves me wanting more.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. But to me, it's that.
Talk dirty like that. No.
Back to resetting the market. It's tough because, like, I don't think an edge rusher is going to reset their market because that number's insane right now. Maybe if one of those younger guys was to get out, like a Josh Allen or someone like that. Somebody just basing it off that potential of seeing that 1 year.
I think this time next year, if Josh Allen or Madubuike repeat their performance, one of those two guys could reset the market for their position.
Yeah, agreed.
But they gotta show they can do it more than once.
Yeah. Jalen Johnson, I could see potentially resetting that market. I could have seen L'Jarius Sneed if he was going to free agency. Oh, a big one to reset the market. Chris Jones. I could absolutely see him resetting that D-tackle market if he leaves KC. If he stays in KC, he's taking less money. But if he goes to one of these other teams that he's been talked about, like potentially us, potentially Chicago, Houston, I saw as a potential spot. Even I saw Vegas at one point.
Houston. Ooh, man.
Houston would be a lot of fun. Pair him with Jonathan Greenard and Will Anderson, and
yeah.
Oh, that's a lot of fun. That is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Well, and then what did I have for them in the mock draft here? Brian Thomas Jr., the wide receiver from LSU, to give CJ Stroud another weapon. Yeah, Houston's gonna be so much fun this year. I could legitimately see them miss the playoffs, but I think they're gonna be a lot of fun.
The AFC, I think the AFC West the whole old division just might miss the playoffs. They're just gonna beat each other the hell up, man, with those coaches in there, man.
Let's see, and I could potentially see the AFC West have all 4 teams make the playoffs. I could see the AFC North potentially have all 4 teams make the playoffs. Like there's a couple divisions there where it's like, okay, yeah, there's 4 playoff worthy teams here. Like,
and then we got the NFC South.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
The real powerhouse of football.
I will say this, though. I think Tampa is going to be really good again as long as they get these key pieces back. Atlanta, if they get a quarterback, is going to be dangerous. I mean, I'll leave it at that because I think New Orleans is going to have to lose some key pieces here. And Carolina is, well, Carolina, but I also don't know if any of you guys saw this. But the percentage increase in cost for ticket season tickets was double the amount of wins they had. They had 2 wins last year and had a 4% increase in season ticket prices.
You hate to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody, throw your drinks at David Tepper when you first game of the year.
They're pricing the average guy out of football, man. That's all it is.
Well, see, they had to do that because people quit showing up to the games at the end of the year, so they got to try and make money somehow.
Oh yeah, that'll definitely.
Well, I mean, all across the league, they're just pricing the average person out of football, let alone a playoff ticket. Christ.
Anthony, thank you for tuning in. Said, yeah, but Arthur Blank, he's got to let the head coach and GM do what they're supposed to. Absolutely. I think he's got the right guys to back off and let them do it. I really like that pairing they have.
I'm just glad Raheem got another shot. You know,
Me
I
too.
am too. I am too. I like that.
he's really matured. I mean, everywhere he's gone since the Bucks, his side of the football has improved.
Yeah.
And he's done it on both sides, offense and defense, which is pretty amazing. I mean, to get all that experience and
And connections.
connection, yeah. I mean, it's good to see. It really is.
Hmm.
Now I tuned out
Yeah.
of football, so I haven't really seen what Raheem's done with the staff there, but I think he
like
has
it.
the connections to bring in.
It's
the right
a
people.
good staff.
Yeah, he brought some people from the Rams. Robinson, the
Zach
OC.
Robinson, yeah.
Zach Robinson, yeah. He'll be his OC. A couple other Rams coaches, I think,
Nice
went
move.
with him. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think
McVay's
good
gonna
Rams.
McVay's going to have
Yeah.
to
It really did.
reach school. Yeah.
Another thing you just hate to see.
I want our division to be strong. I do. I just don't want them to be as strong as us. So,
Yeah, exactly. You want it to be a fun, competitive division, but
Yeah.
just competitive enough to scare you a little bit, but you still win the games.
It was kind of competitive. They're both
well,
9 and
not
8.
at that level. I'm not talking about this level. I'm talking about up here. You know?
Yeah, competitive at like 10, 11, 12 wins.
Right.
Oh, well,
Kicking the shit out
maybe
of the rest of the
combined.
divisions.
Maybe combined, but
Well, yeah, I don't want it combined like that to end up. You know.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it is what it is. I agree. Let's see. I think the Bucks and Falcons are probably going to be the two best teams in the division next year.
Yeah.
The Saints. I don't know.
We always say that and the Saints ain't going to be the issue. It's Panthers
maybe.
going to be. It's going to be Falcons, and it's usually the Saints.
See, but here's the thing with the Saints, though. They've run out of those big contracts from not really key players. Like they're gonna have to lose a Marshawn Lattimore, potentially a Ryan Ramczyk. They're gonna have to start to lose a lot of these difference makers.
How
now.
many years have we been saying that though, and yet the can just still keeps rolling
They're
down?
mean,
just
true.
kicking it down the road, man. Yeah.
Guys, though, they lost Trey Hendrickson, and they just cut Marcus May today. Cam Jordan's another year older, and they're holding on to his dead body. And
See, and
Mario
I think
Davis.
Lattimore's the odd man out this year. I do. I think he's the player to go.
I'll tell you the truth, it wouldn't hurt my feelings.
I've actually been hearing a lot of talks lately. I don't know if it's legit or not of us trying to get him. Giving up a couple mid-round picks.
This is a crazy scenario, but what if Mike Evans and Lattimore landed on the same team?
Oh, practice would be so fun. That'd be like some GM in the early 2010s being like, "Hey, let's sign Andre Johnson and Cortland Finnegan to this."
God, I haven't heard his name in a while.
Oh, I would trade Carlton Davis for Lattimore. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Davis and Dean are overpaid, and we saw why last year. They're just not the kind of corners that are big money type of cornerbacks.
You're not going to get any interceptions out of Dean. That's a fact. His hands are lead.
Well, because he's not on the field very often.
Right.
How many
I mean,
times-
that's also very true.
we're overpaying for a guy that's not on the field half the time. Carlton Davis, he's always out of position.
See, I was in my draft. I was too busy replacing Evans, and I forgot all about the cornerbacks, dude. There's some cornerbacks I could have brought in. Just anybody except for the name Kool-Aid. I don't want Kool-Aid and Yaya on the same team.
Yeah, I still think it's 75-25. Evans comes back.
Agreed.
There's always that 25% chance that a team will overpay. There's always that team that.
I just don't want to see Evans because at this time of his career, he's going to be a bounty hunter. If he goes off somewhere in free agency, he's just going to be a bounty hunter. He's going to get 1-year contracts and play second fiddle to somebody else, like OBJ.
There's one spot that I greatly disagree with what you just said if he goes there. and it's his hometown Houston Texans. I don't think he plays second fiddle to anyone there. I think he's the lead guy.
Well,
And
okay. Tank is kind of
he'll
small,
get a
so yeah, I see
multi-deal.
that.
And he's better than Nico Collins, so.
But I
He'd
also
be the
think
main outside guy.
I think Houston's the only team that would pay him big money.
Agreed.
I don't see anybody else that would. So
I think that 25. Well, I think we would.
I think a bunch of bad teams would.
I think the Ravens would too, actually.
We got almost $70 million to play with. I think we'd throw a good chunk of cash at him.
Yeah, but do you really want Amon-Ra to be your second best wide receiver? Can his ego handle that?
Amon-Ra is I think so. I think it could.
I think he could too. Amon-Ra is such a great player. I love Amon-Ra.
Amon-Ra would be dangerous as fuck if all focus isn't on him.
Well, and then to me, the one that it helps the most actually is Jameson Williams, because you've got to worry about Mike Evans and Amon-Ra and Laporta.
All right, calm down.
Jameson Williams needs to figure his shit out.
Calm down over there, okay? Up there in
I
win every game 60-55.
Yeah, exactly. Goff throws for 6,000.
I can see Alex over there fantasizing like Scott Thaler does about Miller.
It's not gonna happen. I'd say best case scenario, we're like the third or fourth option for him. I think it's Tampa, then Houston, personally.
Yeah.
And then after that, I don't really know. We're in a position to win and can offer him the money. That's why I put us third, but I don't really know if we'd go after him.
Speaking of golf, so they're not going to do an extent. They're not going to talk extension right now.
I've heard kind of both ways that it's this point in the offseason where you hear everything about everything.
Yeah.
So I've heard potentially if the extension is going to happen, it's going to be 4 years, 180. So 45 a year. So right kind of in that. By the end of that contract, it'll be a really good contract, but now it's in that top 10, with somewhere between 85 and 100 mil guaranteed at signing. And then,
today's market, that's not bad.
Yeah, and then
they'll land them right between Matt Stafford and Josh Allen.
Yeah,
they can let him go though. They can let him go. They got a hooker sitting up there behind him, waiting to play, right?
We've seen Hendon Hooker do nothing, so he can't be. We can't rely on that. I argued that with my brother the other day. I'm happy to have Hendon Hooker as the backup this year. I just
wanted to say Hooker for some reason.
And maybe see if Scott's awake. No, and I've heard the whole don't sign Goff this year. Build the rest of the roster around him. Tag him next year if needed. Realistically, you could tag him for 2 years, and then he's going to be right in that same window anyways. But I think if you're going to do that, you might as well just go ahead and sign him. Because if you're going to do that heavy signing bonus right off the bat, that takes a good chunk of that 45 a year out.
What if some Michigan quarterback fell into that 29 to 39?
Don't you start this shit too. Andrew's been starting this. I'm trying not to let that even get in my fucking head. No.
I like earlier that we had that our draft. I like earlier that him at Denver and then playing Harbaugh. When you said that would be funny.
Yeah, that's what I projected was him going to Denver, has to play Jim twice a year. And Ben, no, Johnny, do your catchphrase.
Shut up, Ben.
Thank you. You cut that shit out because I'm trying not to let that thought creep into my mind.
Somebody doing like yoga by the goalpost, like before games, just.
Well, especially the fact, the draft being in Detroit, like I'm trying to go to that draft. If that scenario you just talked about happened, I would lose my fucking mind.
Is this Sonny Weaver? Yeah.
Sonny Weaver's gonna go help out Brad Holmes.
Right. This was a different world 30 seconds ago.
Yeah.
Draft day was such an out. It never happens, right? Until last year with the Texans. That happened. Draft day happened
Literally.
with them last year.
Yeah.
And it wasn't
Literally.
just the first two picks. Their third pick hit fantastic too.
Yeah, that was insane.
Whatever happened to Bo Callahan by then? He was a bust, wasn't he? Like,
yeah,
I think he got sent to the Bucks and they cut him.
That was actually the real
Well,
life
maybe
story
you're
of
seeing
Josh
with the
Rosen.
Chiefs soon.
oh, there you go.
real life story of Josh Rosen. There you go.
Well, don't we have
Or
Jake Plummer still under
Sam
contract?
Darnold.
I mean, yeah.
Fuck.
Uh,
That's gonna be how you're feeling about fucking paying Otani in them 50 years from now.
hey. The money's going to go
50
up.
years.
50 years, anyways.
Our children's children will celebrate Otani Day every year.
Yeah.
Yamamoto Day. too.
Just like most people did Bobby Bonilla Day.
Exactly like that.
Yeah.
Yep, until 2035. So.
Yeah. Man. Yeah. I'm excited to see what the Lions do this offseason because, like I said, we've got the, I think it's 67-ish million. Resign Panay, resign Amon-Ra. I would lean towards re-signing Goff. I think he's shown he's the guy here. Now, I would have potentially liked to see if Ben Johnson was to step away, then you don't re-sign him, see what he does without Ben
Are
Johnson.
you talking about my Johnson again? I'll tell you that. Anyway.
But it's the spot we're in. He just got you the NFC Championship for the first time in 30 fucking years. Give him the money. He's earned it. The last 2 years, statistically, he's been within the top 10. This past year, he was in the top 5 in pretty much every major passing category. It's so much easier to get worse at the position than it is to get better. Just give him the money.
Yeah, you got the
Ben
win.
Johnson is still with the Lions.
Yeah,
Ben
he
Johnson, yeah, he came back.
How did that happen? None of us had that prediction.
He
turned
informed
down
the
jobs.
yeah, he turned down the Commanders and the Seahawks.
That's amazing, ain't it?
I think he wants to try and get that Super Bowl first.
I do too.
And they got a good shot at it. They have I would say probably a 3-year window right now. Wouldn't you agree, Alex? 3 or
Yeah,
4
I think
window?
that's
Depends on how long
3.
Ragnow sticks around for.
and that's why I say 3. I think he's got 2 to 3 good years left in him. But it's hard to say with the way his body is. He's the walking wounded every day.
Yeah, he's got like an unrepairable foot injury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's
Go
that
back.
Western Michigan guy who's ranked in the top 25? I didn't see his name. I saw the rankings today, and I looked up and I saw Western Michigan. And I said, "Holy shit!" That's
Are you talking
JP,
about
isn't
Marshawn Nealand,
it might be. Yeah, I think
the
it's
draft prospect?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a great day at the combine today. Just great testing numbers across the board.
I haven't seen hardly anything from the combine other than Devondre Sweat running a 5.66. I saw that at like 360 some odd pounds, but he was moving slow. Tom Brady ran faster than him. Let's put it that way.
Tom Brady wasn't
Thanks,
370
Sweat, so
pounds.
Washington's got to replace
No,
their Sweat.
But Tom Brady was like, it felt like historically slow almost.
Well, his stride wasn't good either, man. Brady,
I was
he's
Devondre
like,
Sweat.
looked like a rubber duck running.
No, this is Marshawn Nealand, who what Johnny was talking about. He tested with a 9.87 RAS score. So 98th percentile for all defensive tackles ever.
Wow. Yeah. That's pretty fucking good.
From Little Western Michigan.
I saw
Kalamazoo,
that and I was
shout
like,
out.
wait, who is this guy? I'm gonna have to go look at this
Well,
guy.
see, at first when you said that, I was thinking of Florida State's Braden Fiske because he came from Western Michigan before playing at Florida State this past year. So
Oh, yeah, I forgot that.
my mind immediately went to Fiske thinking of that. But
Look at the Broncos pumping out athletes. That's concerning for me.
yeah, I can imagine so.
Arch rival, Mac Powerhouse. I don't like it.
What are your thoughts on UMass joining the MAC? Do you see
Hey.
that?
More Maction. It's just better for everyone.
Agreed.
Next,
Was
we're
it
coming for
UMass?
Notre Dame.
Didn't they turn it down though a few years ago? UMass.
Yeah, they were like with the MAC for like a minute, I think, for like the COVID year, and then they were gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're back,
But
so-
to be fair, I don't think the MAC would have wanted them then. That's when they were like 6 straight years without a win. When it was them and UConn, and it was like one of these teams finally has to win.
We
what's
are shaping ourselves to be a powerhouse conference.
I love the MAC. And like, I mean, you've got CMU, WMU, you got Toledo, you got like Ohio has always been pretty good.
The fighting Khalil Max up in Buffalo.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know who
Yeah.
also likes the MAC? Mark Morrison.
I don't know who that is.
Google it.
Google the internet.
You said that like everybody's supposed to know it. Everybody, you just dropped the room dead.
I was thinking like a singer.
Yeah.
Is he the one who did Moondance?
No,
It's
The
a
late
marvelous
90s.
night for a moon.
the late '90s hip hop song.
Oh yeah, this is a very different person than the one I
That
was
was
picturing.
Van Morrison.
Van Morrison. See, I was close.
Return of the Mac.
Return of the Mac.
That's what UMass should do at their home opener, conference opener.
Yes.
Play that song where everybody comes out of the tunnel. Play that song, Return of the Mac.
Yes.
Return to the Mac.
Yep, we're just
I
going
like
to watch
that.
all these other Power 5 conferences fade away. Goodbye, Pac 12. Big 12 is going to die. ACC is going to die. The MAC is still going strong.
I
get
do agree with that. I think it's gonna end up inevitably being the Big 10 in the SEC or the Big 40 in the SEC. Realistically, what it should be at that point.
Yep, and then all these outcast Power 5 schools can join us. Welcome to the team, Washington State. What's up, North Carolina? Welcome to the MAC.
See, but some of those schools, in North Carolina being a big one, are going to get brought into the conferences even if the teams don't match necessarily for the academic side of it. It's the only fucking reason Vanderbilt's in the SEC is to
Bring
boost
up
the
the grade
academic
point.
grade enough
Yeah.
because there is those sort of requirements to stay at Power 5. So academic prestige being one of them, that's the only reason Vanderbilt's in the SEC. Literally the only reason.
Well, it's a good thing that Jerry Stackhouse has his students doing good in the classroom because they're not doing very well on the hardwood floor.
Yeah.
They ain't
Jerry
got to be on the
Stackhouse,
hardwood.
Pistons
Did you
legend.
hear them today? I mean, they don't. One guy don't believe pigeons exist. He thinks they're robots that are just sitting on power lines charging, and the other guy's a flat earther.
Space
Come
doesn't
on, man.
exist. And, yeah.
But yet Notre Dame's still going to be an independent.
Space
Guess
don't
what?
exist.
They're
Because
never
all
going to make
those-
the playoffs.
Don't
See,
blame you,
here's,
JT.
#1 seed.
here's the
They-
thing that I think is going to make them join a conference.
top 4.
Probably-
They want to be
Yeah. Well, no, they can't even be top 5
top 5. Yes, that's what I
because
mean.
it's
Yeah, I mean,
the top 5 conference champions
winners. Yeah.
are
That's
all
it.
1 through 5. So the group of 5 conference champion, the highest ranked one, will be the 5 seed. So Notre Dame can't do better than 6 until they join a conference.
Did you guys see the outline for the proposed 14-team playoff?
I didn't.
Oh, it's so stupid. I hate it. It's like they're giving 3 guaranteed playoff spots to Big Ten teams, 3 guaranteed playoff spots to SEC teams, 2 guaranteed to like ACC, 2 guaranteed to Big 12, and then 1 guaranteed to Power 5. And then it's like the top 4 wildcard teams.
That's so stupid.
I hate it.
There shouldn't. Conference champions should be the only guaranteed spots.
Yep. So you're going to get like a conference champion Michigan and a runner-up Ohio State, and then like a 7-win Minnesota team guaranteed spot.
Well, no. Here's the thing: is, I mean, you'll still get like a Penn State and Oregon, one of those. You'll get like they'll all still be 9, 10, 11 win teams, but it's just, are they necessarily the best 14 teams at that point? Because like I think this year, you will from the Big Ten. I think you'll see Ohio State, Oregon, and Michigan at the very least in the playoff. Oregon and Ohio State playing for the conference championship. That's what I have as of now. And then the SEC, you'll probably see. I mean, you'll definitely see Georgia, Texas. I think that's your SEC title game there. And then I think Ole Miss is a sneaky good team this year. And I think that would be your third team this year.
But do we really need to guarantee a spot for Ole Miss?
No, I'm just saying, like, I feel personally like that's a lock this year, especially with the 12-team playoff. I think they're in. I think they're probably one of the 6, 7, 8 best teams in the country.
You know what? You know who's going to ruin that? It's Alabama. Because Ole Miss can never beat Alabama.
Well, they couldn't beat Saban's Alabama.
Well, that's true, yeah.
I don't know. Kellen DeBoer has only lost like 5 games since moving to like Division One.
Yeah. And I think they still – I think they're at worst 8-4 this year. I think that's like worst case scenario. They're 8-4. I still personally lean 9-3 is where I have them, and that's like borderline playoff realistically. But it's gonna be so weird to not see Nick Saban on that fucking sideline. So weird.
No Saban, no Belichick, no Pete Carroll. End of an era.
Yeah.
Can I ask you
We're gonna
guys a
see
question?
Eric Bieniemy in college.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
What's up,
Is
Tony?
Tua in the draft this year, or Talia, not Tua, but
Talia,
in the
yeah,
draft
he's
this
in
year?
the draft. Yeah,
Oh no, I thought he went back
He's
to
not
college.
listed.
He
He's not
wasn't
listed
allowed.
in any of
he got
Huh?
denied his waiver, so he had.
the.
to
Yeah, I
go to
know
the
that,
draft.
but he's not listed any of the prospective rookie quarterbacks.
He
in
probably.
the draft.
No, he didn't get an invite to the combine.
Oh,
I remember seeing that he didn't get an
Tua
invite.
compete.
What if he's
What's
Mr.
that?
Irrelevant this year's draft?
Miami gets the pick. He's Mr. Irrelevant. Pair him with Tua.
I don't hate little baby Tua.
I think if you get somebody that can work him between the ears, I think he could be a good quarterback. He makes too many mistakes.
Just don't give him 2 offensive coordinators.
I mean, that's also, yeah. I've never liked that idea.
Or don't take a defensive coordinator, make him an offensive coordinator, and have him run your offense.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about Raheem.
Oh, let's talk
Fucking
about Matt
Matt.
Patricia.
Yeah, Matt fucking Patricia. Yeah.
It's like, hey,
Oh, I
I know
thought-
you've always been a defensive coordinator. How would you like to revive Mac Jones' career?
And he was an assistant offensive line coach under Dante Scarnecchia. Yeah, you're fit to be an OC. Yeah.
You guys,
Yeah,
what do you think?
I wouldn't.
Fucking-
The
You
map-
get yourself a
disrespect why he
laminated
got
pet or play sheet.
Yeah,
You're
I don't
fucking-
have that right now. I mean, this is all I have. So.
Well, because you're not an idiot. You're not going to use a pencil or a pen for a fucking
Right.
cheat.
When
Idiot.
Brady Hoke was at Michigan and didn't wear headphones,
But he still
Yeah,
beat Ohio State.
he's like screaming up to the
Yeah.
booth, "What do you guys want to call?"
Yeah, I always thought that was. I'm pretty sure he's still doing that for San Diego State.
Let's put it on the billboard for everybody to see. Okay.
Also, did you guys see they're working on doing the in-helmet communication for college?
Good,
No.
it's about time.
They're working on getting that rounded up. Probably would be for 2025, but
I'm sure there will never be a problem with that.
yeah.
Sure.
I smell sarcasm.
I mean, we've got assistant coaches dressing in other schools' attire so they can scout our upcoming opponents currently.
Yeah.
But no, the radio waves at opposing stadiums will totally be clean.
Absolutely.
Hey, at
Do you
least
see
Michigan-
Ohio State admitted to tampering, and they're just like, "Oh no, we self-reported, so nothing's gonna happen," which happens every fucking year. Stupid.
Yeah, well, at least Michigan didn't have somebody dress up differently. They had at least wore Michigan stuff.
Oh, we did though.
Yeah.
Connor Stallion's dressed up in Western Michigan gear for week
It's still
1.
Michigan.
Right,
I
he
didn't
was
say
at the Loblaws
Michigan. You
game.
said Michigan. You can get it.
Oh, it was CMU. That's right.
Yeah, when we played Michigan State in the first week, would have
Yeah,
beat him if
that's
we
right.
wanted to. But no, we wanted to play our other quarterback, not our good quarterback.
That's a Michigan State. I think is going to be a problem again in a couple years. I really like Jonathan Smith being hired there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't as
I
a
do.
Michigan fan, but as a football guy, that's a phenomenal hire.
I really like the quarterback he brought with him too.
Childs, yeah, he's very good.
Is Jordan Travis going to be in the draft?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, probably.
This
Yeah,
year,
so
I don't think he'll
I
get
didn't-
drafted, but
oh, is he in this year's draft?
Yeah.
I saw him listed there, but
Yeah, if he gets drafted, it's probably the 6th or 7th round
yeah,
because of the injury too. I mean, you know,
yeah,
that's
That's
the thing
all-
that pushes him undrafted for me. Because otherwise, he'd be probably a 4th or 5th round pick.
but I don't see him ever doing anything in the NFL. He's just takes too many hits. You know, he's too
Yeah.
his style is too reckless to.
If you had him behind like the best offensive line in football, then maybe. But
Yeah,
man,
even
even then,
yeah. Obviously, I'm excited for like free agency to draft all that. I'm excited to see what our teams do, what the Lions do, what the Bucks do, and then some of these teams that are so far, like the Saints and the Chargers and all them, who are so deep in cap hell right now, how they get out of it and then
the
proceed
entire
to build their
AFC
roster.
West is my eyes are on the AFC West, man. Right?
Yeah.
because that's going to be interesting, dude.
I mean, personally, like I'm rooting for the Chargers. Obviously, I hope they can get it rolling, but we'll see.
I want to see if the dirtiest stadiums can get the best results this year. I can't believe the Steelers ranked 28th, man, in that list. Did you guys see that list I'm talking about?
I saw the list. I didn't realize they were that low. Holy shit!
Everything
The
but head
Steelers-
coach sucked.
The only thing that amazes me is because it's the Roonies. You know what I mean?
Fair.
How could the Roonies rank that low, man? They're supposed to be cutting edge and on top. They're the NFL gods, you know.
I know what they've turned into the Glazers. I mean,
Actually, the Glazers are 2 notches above. They're 26th.
I know
Bucks are
we were
26th.
13.
surprised me with
Kansas
the
City
Bucks.
Chiefs are 31st on the list. But
Yeah,
that's
their
Arrowhead,
owner got
come
a
on,
fucking
that's
F minus,
Stadium.
didn't he?
Yeah.
Just shows you how much these surveys are really worth.
Well, would
They
you say
matter for like the
Bucks were in
human
the top
element.
5 or 10? JT, I always ask Bucks fans that when they complain, all these surveys don't matter. But then if you guys if we were ranked in the top 5, you'd probably be bragging about it. Like, oh yeah,
yeah.
see, well,
Our cafeteria food is elite.
Well, I was
Well-
gonna say, see, it's like, yeah, it seems to be like, yeah, you'd be like a good spot for the players to be at. But I mean, you look at it, first place team was one and done in the playoffs. Second didn't make the playoffs. Third had a pretty decent run of the playoffs. Fourth was one and done. Fifth didn't make it. Niners made the Super Bowl. Texans had a decent run. Giants didn't make it. Raiders didn't make it. Bears didn't make it. So, I mean, I get where JT's saying it doesn't really mean shit because at the end of the day, it's about winning. And number 31 is won back-to-back years. So, but
we're also the Bucks. They're in Florida. What are they doing
Yeah.
at the facilities anyway?
Well,
I mean,
the Bucks, I think,
True.
out of the bottom of the list there, have the newest training facility, and they graded on the training facilities. Okay, they don't
yeah,
have child care, and the top of the list does, of course, but they don't have like their cafeteria is. You got to go in rotation because it's so small. They can't fit all the players in it.
Yeah, I
they
know.
just
He-
built this fucking thing, man. Not a few
He
years
took
ago.
half the room there. So yeah, I definitely understand what you're saying. You know,
Oh, yeah. Start with this one.
but
Anthony said, "Oh snap, it's JT, dude. Loved that first album. Always thought the other cats held you back."
It's true.
Then said the icing was your Super Bowl halftime show with Janet Jackson. Classic.
Believe
Oh,
me, if
speaking of
they
which,
saw me
music,
dance, there'd be
JT, I
no
love that.
confusion
I
here.
love that Metallica shot you put out there a while ago, man. That was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I'm very
Oh, yeah.
talented here.
back to the Bucks with the whole grading thing. I believe this is just me. The Lawrence Tynes curse. I think we're still cursed by
That
Lawrence
Mercer.
his foot. Yeah, his foot. It's left a dark cloud over us, like ever since.
Well, the Bucks locker room isn't nothing to. You definitely want to put a rag of Febreze over your face when you walk in it, but that's most locker rooms. You know what I mean?
Yeah, your locker room got a C minus.
Oh, that's pretty
I
good.
read there's like bugs in the shower. It's not great.
Yeah.
Treatment of families is an F for you guys.
Don't provide childcare. You make these people pay like $100 a game to have their kids watch for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Like,
The
just-
food cafeteria was C minus. Nutritionist dietitian was B. Locker room C minus. Training room B minus. Training staff B. Weight room B. Strength coaches A minus. Team travel is an F. Head coach B minus. And ownership D minus.
Hey, we got a B minus on our head coach. Everybody wanted him gone.
I'm pretty sure that was like ranked 28th out of 32 though. Like,
Well, the dietitian for the Bucks, they got that high grade because they told don't eat in the cafeteria. That's why.
The Steelers got one A on theirs, and that was from Mike
yeah,
Tomlin.
The head coach was ranked 26th, by the way. The B minus.
so yeah, it's not like these players are like, oh yeah, my head coach sucks. He gets an F. Like,
There were a
most of them are
lot
saying
of
good
just
things.
like flat A's. Holy shit. There were 3 A pluses.
I think Dan Campbell scored really high on that for the Lions.
Yeah. So the A pluses were Andy Reid, Dan Campbell, and Kevin O'Connell.
Damn
were the
right,
3 A
Alex. I only get A pluses around here. Okay, all right. That's to you, little buddy. That's why we got to the comp because we got an A plus.
What'd Shanahan get?
I will check in a second.
I think Kevin Stefanski got like a B minus as well, and he was coach of the year. So
San Francisco.
What did
Was-
Deshaun Watson get?
Shanahan got an A. Stefanski was a B minus.
So coach of the year and Todd Bowles.
Yeah.
some people
All
thought
right.
Todd Bowles could have been coach of the year.
Before JT's got to run here, I'm gonna get that game rolling quick.
Well, I've got to
let's-
run now, so
Okay.
I just
Oh.
got a message.
What's
All
that?
right, guys. I just got a message. I got to take off.
Okay.
I bet Johnny-
Later,
Thanks
guys.
for hopping on, Johnny.
Later, Johnny.
All right. So I'll bring this full screen here. Well, actually, let's do. Oh, I don't have the other ones that I made. Oh well. Okay. So we've got the names on the board here. Back it up a bit. Should have made this lower. I'll know for next time. So I've got the 16 names on the board here. I've got Penei Sewell, Ndamukong Suh, Chase Young, Josh Allen from Buffalo. I've got Adrian Peterson, Jabril Peppers, Cam Newton, O.J. Simpson, Jeff Garcia, Mike Evans, Barry Sanders, LeGarrette Blount, Rashad Perriman, Tristan Wirfs, Marcus Allen, and Micah Parsons. You can pick any 4 on the board at all. It doesn't have to be like these 4, whatever. It's just 4 on the board and what connects them. There's one specific thing for each group of 4. And for example, if I picked Chase Young, O.J. Simpson, LeGarrette Blount, Cam Newton, that connection for those 4 wouldn't count for anyone else on this board.
So wait, are they like in a row or a column? How they're connected?
No, it's scattered.
So they all have connections.
So there's, for example, like I said, there Chase Young, OJ, Cam, and LeGarrette Blount. They would have a connection between those four that nobody else on this board would fit into. So, for example, like I told Ben earlier, it could be first overall picks, and the only four on the board that would be first overall picks would be, just throwing an example out, not this one, Peyton Manning, John Elway, Terry Bradshaw, and Cam Newton. And no other first overall picks would be on the board.
This game seems surprisingly simple yet very complicated at the same time.
It is. It's a very basic game, but can be made very difficult.
I'll let Ben go first so I can observe how it's played.
Well, you guys are working together.
We're working together. All right.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you
okay.
can brainstorm,
I'm sure
you
Ben
can-
feels really confident right now in my
You can
ability to help
speak out
him.
loud. You can.
Just as confident as you are.
All right, Alex, hit us with any four. We got this.
Well, no, I'll give you a hint for one of the groups, but you got to pick the four and the connection for them.
So I just pick any random. I can even see that board.
So I should have wrote it lower. Okay, see, but if I bring it closer, then you can't see the top row. Okay, so I'll give you.
Push the thing down a little bit, like the bottom part of the board. Push it down a little bit. Yeah, like. Oh no! Wait. Go. Flip it up. There you go.
Then the light catches.
Now you can't see the.
I have no idea who that top
Alex.
corner is.
Top left is Panay.
Give me Panay Sewell for 500, Alex.
Okay, well, I'll give you a hint for one of the groups of four. It is college football related. I'll leave it at that.
So, let's see. Simpson, Cam Newton, Jabril. Who's above Jabril? Is that Adrian Peterson?
Adrian
Yeah.
Peterson, yeah.
Joe Garcia.
I guess technically two of them are college related, but only one is purely college related. So here, I'll give you hints for each group.
Hey Alex, I have a question real quick.
Yeah.
Is Zach and Mary still making a porno in there? Because you got that background. It's like, oh my god, I see some DNA on that shirt. Never mind. Oh. Alex is a southpaw. Nice.
I am.
I learned something today.
Group 3
Arrest.
awards.
Oh, I thought it was arrest.
Group 4 is
Convictions.
team based.
Okay, so give me Ndamukong Suh, Adrian Peterson, Barry Sanders, and the other player who played in the Big 12, who I can't read half the board.
That is incorrect
Damn.
because I don't even know who your fourth guy would be.
I can't see like the right column.
So Brashad Perriman,
Central Florida.
Tristan Wirfs, and by the way, I'm not
Nice.
saying like currently, like with the realignments, it's what they were in when they played there. Tristan Wirfs, Marcus Allen, and Micah Parsons.
Penn State. I don't know where Allen went to. Where did Marcus Allen go to school?
Do you remember where he went to
I
school?
want to say
Ben?
USC.
Who? Marcus Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a Trojan.
So not the Big 12. Mike Evans. Was Texas A&M in the Big 12 then, or were they SEC? I think they were SEC. It might have been Big 12.
I think they're SEC. Yeah, just when they got. Yeah.
Don't know where Jeff Garcia went to school. Is that one Jeff Garcia at the top?
Yeah, Jeff Garcia, yeah.
Where did he go to school? Like Santa Fe? Or am I thinking of Steve Nash?
Well, I know he's been to the Playboy Mansion. He got a wife out of there. Let's see.
So I'll give.
Okay. You mind if I do one? Or let me
Yeah, do it.
take a crack at this one. Damn it. I lost my train of thought now. No, I'm just trying to look at the board. It's like, holy shit. So we got to go, let's see, 4 groups. Okay. College, draft, awards, and teams. Now, they have to be on the same teams at the same time, correct?
For which one?
Oh, okay. If I named 4 players, can they be on? Do they have to be on the team at the same time, or is it the team that they played for? Or are we?
You tell me.
So okay.
I'll give you that. It was played for a specific team.
Okay, so I'll go Ndamukong, Mike Evans, Rashard Perriman, and Jeff Garcia, the Bucks.
That is incorrect. Although I will say,
also correct.
You had. Well, yeah, correct. Not the group I was looking for. I will say, 3 of those players though were correct for this one. Just a different idea.
Huh. Okay.
So out of Sue, Garcia, Evans, and Perriman, 3 of those 4 were right for this one for a specific reason.
Okay.
Okay, I got one for draft.
What's up?
Penei Sewell, Josh Allen, Mike Evans, Adrian Peterson. All
And
7th overall pick.
That is correct.
Nice.
So, no, not him. Him. Cross him out. Cross him out. Cross him out. And cross him out. And it wouldn't have mattered whether it was Buffalo or Jacksonville, Josh Allen. I just put the Buffalo in there to maybe trick you, given that OJ was sitting there. So this one is done.
In your face, draft.
So, Ben, based off your other guess, you can tell which 3 of those 4 were correct.
Yeah. Right.
So Sue, Garcia, Perriman, what all do they have in common, and who else matches that? For teams 2.
The Lions.
Can I do it? What about like awards? Can I do one for an award?
Yeah. You can shoot at whatever you want.
Cam Newton, Barry Sanders, Marcus Allen, O.J. Simpson, Heisman winners?
I'll give it to you. It was Heisman and MVP. But
Oh, it can't just be Heisman winners? Oh.
no.
You just stole Barry Sanders. I was going to use him for something else.
Well, I'm sorry. Shit.
Well, what were you going to use him for?
I was going to use Barry, Sue, Jeff Garcia, and Perriman as former Lions. But I'll replace one with LeGarrette Blount.
So he guessed as Bucks, you guessed as Lions. What are you going to do?
What do they do?
They play for that.
What?
They play for that team.
But are we guessing Bucks or Lions? Or are you guessing both?
Both. Because I think they were both true. Garcia, Sue, Blount, and Perriman.
Yep, that is correct. All 4 of them played for both the Lions and the Bucks.
All right.
Yeah, the only one I wasn't totally sure was Perriman on the Lions. But I thought I remember
that one's kind of a question mark because he got injured in the preseason, and then we released him. So he never played the regular season with the Lions.
Gotcha.
All right. So now you have just college and those 4 players. So what connects Chase Young, Jabril Peppers, Tristan Wirfs, and Micah Parsons?
Big Ten.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
That wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
Yeah, once you get rolling and start kicking some of the names out, then it gets a lot easier.
Yeah.
But when you're just staring at the blank board and all that, then it gets a little more difficult.
See, adding the categories made it a lot more manageable.
Yeah.
Because it's like
well, maybe next time I'll only have like 1 or 2 of the categories. But I just saw Anthony's comment here. Since still haven't put any paneling up in the dungeon. not trying to give the prisoners a homey feel, you know.
Right, I mean, you know, if
Just
it looks like
non-
it looks like a place where you committed a crime. You're looking at a hideout or something.
Oh, that was good. I like that. All right, yeah, that's all I got. Here, I'll do this one. You guys got anything else you want to talk about, or should we wrap this up?
I think we did pretty good. What do you think,
Yeah.
JT?
Yeah, we can talk more combine next week. They only had the first wave of testing today. Figure out who's a terrible prospect and who's not.
Yeah, by then all the combine stuff will be done. Franchise tag will be done. We know who's going straight to free agency, who's getting locked up. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let's wrap this up. We will be back next week. Before we go, give you guys a chance to promote your stuff. JT, take a second to promote what you got going on.
We got our podcast, the Creamsicle Chronicle podcast, tomorrow night at 9:30. We're going to talk about some of the comments Todd Bowles and Jason Light made at their press conference, talk a little bit about the combine. Going to try and get an article out tomorrow. One big name prospect who you can cross off the Buccaneers draft board. He is not going to be picked in all likelihood. And you can find my sports gambling podcast Wednesdays at 9:30 around the book. I gave you like 10 players and they're over under 40 time for the combine score. And I think I'm 2-0 so far. So good stuff.
Awesome. And then, Ben, you want to take a second to promote what you got going on?
Yeah, you just find me here on Let's Talk Football on the NFL edition every Thursday nights, or try to do it every Thursday nights, and Have At It every Friday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. We just talk about anything. We have at it at any topic. And I feel like tomorrow night should be a pretty interesting episode because we're going to talk about these grades the teams are getting for their,
Yeah.
stuff, which I think we can definitely have at it with. And then my pro wrestling show, Face the Heels, I do that usually Mondays or Wednesday nights. That's pretty much all I got going for right now. So yeah, check me out on Twitter or X at BennyBoy702.
All right. Yeah. All right. That's all we got for this week. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll probably see you guys next week.